What's up, guys? It's Jay Beebs, and welcome to the second episode of the Barrow Road to Glory. Before we get into today's episode, if you want to see how we got to this point, make sure you check out the channel to see the first episode. And now into the video. So, starting things off, heading into this month of January, I will be sending out our youth scouts, and the first of which is going to Uruguay for 3 months to find some defensively minded players. The second scout will be going to Argentina to find some attacking players for 3 months. And looking at our youth academy, I have decided to promote Tomas Tavero just because I want to add a little bit of depth. I do plan on selling him in the near future, but just at the current moment, as you can see on the squad hub, he is our 22nd player, so we just needed some of that depth. The same goes for Alejandro Santana. Again, we'll probably be selling him shortly. However, we do just need the players on the roster. So we now have the EFL Trophy Round 3 as we travel to Fratton Park to face Portsmouth. Looking at the squad for this game, we will be using a 4-3-3 holding. We'll have Lolis in goal, Zuma and Messina at center backs, Barry and Nilf at outside backs, Beedling at defensive mid, Trinsenjack and Jones at center mids, Taylor and Kay out wide with Quigley up top. In the 6th minute, Portsmouth have the ball in a dangerous area. The ball gets played through. Their player is able to dribble past Messina before putting it past Lolis at the near post, as we are now down 1-0. In the 60th minute, Portsmouth have the ball and they're able to get into a dangerous area before their winger gets in behind the defense and puts it past our keeper, as we are now down 2-0. In the 73rd minute, Portsmouth have the ball with numbers in a very dangerous area. The ball gets played into the box. Their player ignores the cross and puts it past our keeper, as we are now down 3-0. In stoppage time of the second half, Portsmouth again have the ball in our box. Their winger is able to dribble past our defenders and put it into the back of the net, as we are now down 4-0. At full time, we would end up losing 4-0. Honestly, kind of expected this result, as we are one of the worst teams in EFL League Two, and Portsmouth are one of the better teams in EFL League One. However, we still should never really be expecting to lose games. After all of that happened with Portsmouth, we are just going to ignore it and focus on building the team for fighting for promotion, or maybe even next season. And the first player that we are going to do to help that team is to promote Domenico Ruggiero. He is a defensive mid or center back from Italy who has decent potential. He has good defensive work rate, so I may look to switch him to a different position, but again, we'll just sit back, wait, and see what happens. The next player joining the team is Martin Soriano. He is a attacking mid or slash center mid from Spain. He is a medium attacking work rate and a high defensive work rate. He doesn't have good skill moves or weak foot, but he does have high enough potential to the point where that might not matter, as he is very good at dribbling. Another player joining the team is Leo Montanari. He has 5-star skill moves and a 4-star weak foot as a right back or a center back with a high attacking work rate and a medium defensive work rate. I may look to switch his position just because of his skill moves, weak foot, and his physical stats. But again, this is very early on. We'll just have to see what happens. So we do have a little bit of transfer news, as Matthew Platt will be departing the club. He will be joining RKC Woolwich for $840,000. With the money that we were able to get from that Platt transfer, we were able to invest it in our youth academy, and we have bought a 3-star scout who will be going out to Chile for 3 months to find a goalkeeper. And the first goalkeeper that he found is Enrique Pascual, who has a 5-star weak foot as a goalkeeper. He doesn't have the greatest of potentials, but he does have a high enough overall to the point where he will be starting for the team. And he is showing great potential. So again, it's not great, but it's also not bad, as we could definitely use a young, promising goalkeeper. Another player that is now 60 overall is Alex Trubalevsky, who we promoted to the first team in the last season. And he is an exciting prospect, so this is definitely very good for the club, as we now have 2 very promising center forwards. With Trubalevsky just being so good, I have decided to sell Quigley once the next season happens, and he will be leaving the club for $480,000 to join Piast Gilweiss. So, despite the fact we just promoted Pascual, we've promoted another player who is a goalkeeper from Chile, who is a 4-star weak foot and 2-star skill moves at 74-94 potential, who is 6'6", and that is Christian Ochoa, and he's a 63 overall. So he actually will become our starter. He is showing great potential, just like Pascual. So I just feel like just because of his height, I will most likely have him be our starter. Another player that will be departing the club is Beedling, as we have sold him to Saudi Arabian side Al-Tawan for $620,000. Enrique Pascual, who again was just benched because of Ochoa, he will be going out on a 2-year loan to Vissel Kobe out in Japan, just because I want to use him in the future. I just want to make sure that he doesn't get upset with his lack of playing time. And we do have a little bit of bad news, as Yon Zuma has suffered an LCL injury, and he'll be out for 3 months, which means he will be out for the rest of the season and the playoffs if we happen to get there. So heading into the final match day, because of the fact that we played so well in the EFL Trophy, one of our games got pushed to the end of the season, which means we do have, of the top 8 teams, we do have the final game. And unless we lose by 15 or 14 goals, we cannot lose our 7th spot. But if we are able to win, we can go up a spot and instead face 5th place Bradford City instead of 4th place Exeter City. So now we have that final league game against Leyton Orient. The lineup we've gone for is the 4-3-3 with Beedling and Messina at center backs, with Ochoa on goal, Berry and Nilth at outside backs, Jones at defensive mid, Gribben and Trinson-Jack at center mids, Trubalevsky at striker with Taylor and Kay on the wings. In the 7th minute, the ball is lofted into Kay. Kay takes a touch, whips it into the box before Trinson-Jack is able to get the header past the goalkeeper to put us up 1-0. In the 27th minute, Leyton Orient has the ball in the edge of our box. The ball somehow is still in Leyton's possession, and they get an easy goal, as we are now tied at 1-1. In the 69th minute, Leyton Orient have the ball with numbers in dangerous area. A beautiful ball is played through past our defense to make the game 2-1 to Leyton Orient. Honestly, I'm not so upset at this goal, as this was a brilliant play with a brilliant through ball. In the 78th minute, Trubalevsky is dribbling with the ball. He's able to sprint past 2 defenders before putting it into the back of the net to tie the game up at 2-2 and keep our chances of getting up a spot alive. In the 90th minute, we have the ball in a dangerous area. Grubben turns in the top of the box, plays it into Kay, and Kay puts it past the goalkeeper to put us up 3-2. And as of now, we will be promoted to that 6th spot in the table. In stoppage time of the second half, Leyton Orient has the ball on the top of the box. We are not able to close down the defender before he plays it to his teammate, who puts it into the back of the net, meaning that we have tied the game. So after that very, very unfortunate tie, we have finished in 7th in the table, which means that we will be facing Exeter City in the playoffs. Since we are facing Exeter City, that means Tranmere Rovers and Bradford City will be facing off against each other. I probably would have liked to face Bradford City. However, we have Exeter City, and that's just the way things are going to have to be. So we now have that first leg of the Exeter City game. We have not made any changes to the starting lineup from that last game. In the 18th minute, Exeter are able to play a brilliant through ball past our defense. Ochoa comes out, however he is chipped, and Messina tries to clear off the line, but he cannot do so in time, as we are now down 1-0 early on in the game. In the 36th minute, Exeter City have the ball on the edge of our box before their player dribbles past 3 of our players and puts it past Ochoa, as we are now down at 2-0 before halftime. In the 81st minute, Exeter have the ball in a dangerous area again before an expertly played ball is played in their striker, who puts it past our keeper from the edge of the 18, as we are now down 3-0. In the 86th minute, Gribben is able to play a brilliant ball through for Trubalevsky, who is able to put it past the goalkeeper, as we are now only down 3-1. At full time, we ended up losing 3-1, and honestly, I don't feel like the game is out of reach, as we had the same amount of shots on target. They were just able to do more. So I do feel confident in the team's ability, if not to come back and easily win the next game, at least make it competitive. So before we get into that final game, we do have a little bit of transfer news, as Luke James will be departing the club to join Saudi Arabian side Al Fateh for $410,000. And now we have the second leg of the League Two playoffs. Again, we have not made any changes to the team. In the 12th minute, Exeter City win the ball back from our box before their player's first attempt is blocked by Ochoa, but the second one goes in, as we are now down 1-0 very early in this game. In the 19th minute, Exeter City have the ball with numbers on the edge of our box. They do a quick 1-2 past our goalkeeper, past our defense, as we are now down to 2-0 early on in this game. In the 28th minute, Exeter City again have the ball with numbers in our box before they find the wide open player, who is able to launch it past our keeper, as we are now down 3-0. In the 62nd minute, we are able to combine the ball outside on the right before the ball is crossed in by Gribben into Quigley, and Quigley is able to put it into the back of the net, as we are now only down 3-1. At full time, we would again lose 3-1, as this does mean that our season is over. Looking back at where we placed and everything, we finished 7th in the league with 65 points, In the FA Cup, we got knocked out in the first round by Mansfield 5-2. In the Carabao Cup, we lost to Forest Green 1-0 in the first round. In the EFL Trophy, we made it into the third round, and we got absolutely obliterated by Portsmouth, which you saw at the beginning of this episode. In the League Two playoffs, we ended up losing 6-2 on an aggregate after losing both games 3-1. So looking at the stats for the team, the players who made the most appearances were Kay, Nilf, and Trinsenjack, all with 59 appearances. Taylor was a close second with 58 appearances, and Jones was in third with 56 appearances. The top goal scorer for the team was Quigley with 26 goals in 51 games. Taylor also had 15 and 58. Gribben had 13 and 54, and Kay had 10 and 9. Gribben finished with the most assists for the team as he had 15 assists in 54 games, and Jones and Trinsenjack both had 10 assists. However, Jones did it in 56 games and Trinsenjack did it in 59, and Taylor finished with 9 and 58. The players who cut the most clean sheets were Kay and Trinsenjack. They finished with 11 clean sheets, and Gribben finished with 10, but Nilf, Taylor, and Quigley finished with 9. So whenever we do play our best players, as stupid as it sounds, is when we play the best. So looking at our overall managerial career for this first season, our biggest win was that 4-1 win against Newport we had in December. Our biggest defeat was a 4-0 loss to Portsmouth in the EFL Trophy. We have earned a total of $768,000, and we have played a total of 59 games. We won 19, drew 25, lost 15. We have scored 93 goals while allowing 84. Looking at this 2020-2021 season specifically, the club wanted us to finish mid-table, which we were able to do and exceed as we ended up finishing in a playoff spot. The club wanted us to reach the round of 16 stage in the FA Cup, which I thought was truly outrageous. However, we ended up losing in the round 1. We finished in round 1 in the Carabao Cup. In the EFL Trophy, we were able to make it to the third round. We did not win Manager of the Month or Manager of the Year. We did not buy any players this first season, as I have looked to grow the club internally, and the highest transfer fee that we received was for flat in $840,000. I really hope you all enjoyed watching this episode. If you want to check out the first episode, it will be on my channel, and the playlist should be linked somewhere in this video. And it's a disappointing season, but there's always next season, and hopefully we can bounce back. And I guess I'll see you all later.